It's a very strange industry where it is driven by content. They might say that the automobile industry is also like that. Not so. You can rest for 5 years, but you can't rest for 5 minutes in this industry, especially the television industry. And we have come to a stage where the platforms have been merging. I know I sound cliched because I've been saying that for the past 5 years about platforms merging. Every year we have better examples, newer examples of things happening. And in my industry, which now I think includes the television, the cell phone, and every other industry. Before I used to be so small-minded and thought I belonged to the film industry. I belong to the moving images industry now. Especially in this digital world, I cannot differentiate him belonging to another fraternity and we of the film as another fraternity. We are all of the same fraternity, including the digital technicians who make our images appear around the world. So there are so many things that can happen, and I think we'll have to get our act together, enjoy all those reports that KPMG has prepared for us, and hope that we can better it next year. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Because if you look at the software then of the film industry, television, communications, how do you involve, say, a spot boy as much as you do involve an Aamir Khan or a Kamal Haasan in looking at the stakes involved in pushing this as an industry, professionalizing
Actually,
it?
pushing as an industry, I'm meaning it in a different way. I don't mean
Yes.
it in that way. I don't mean it in making more films or making more money out of the films or making the industry
More productive, perhaps.
that many more crores bigger. That's not how I'm
Yes.
looking at it. Because I feel that the opportunity is much larger than that. I mean, if you look at the content coming out of our work for children's content, it's almost negligible. And the little that I see is very scary. The little that I see is my son watches sometimes, you know. I sit with him and it kind of scares me to see the kind of children's content we are making. Most of the kids, I think 80% of the kids are actually not watching children's content. They're watching content which their parents are watching. So not content made specially for children. What is that going to have an impact on that child's mind? You know, what kind of impact are we, what is the generation we are, how are we affecting a generation of kids? So we as an industry, we as a creative industry, as a media, have a huge opportunity in front of us. Huge opportunity in really building the nation with how we make people or make children perceive what is honesty. You know, today, unfortunately, now we are at a time where people, dishonesty is looked upon with a lot of, you know, and where a person who's honest is made fun of. Arey yaar, wo to bahut Raja Harishchandra banta hai. People laugh at that. How can we make that a quality that people admire, that children admire? Caring. Caring is such an important quality that all of us need. How can we build that in children? So imagine a generation 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, which grows up on content which we have made, which evokes these feelings in them, which touches upon sensitivity, sharing as a concept. That is the last thing on my mind when I'm selecting a film. The day I start selecting a film with this in mind, that this has to be a very big hit or very big success, that's the end of my creativity. That day, I won't be a creative person anymore. So I can't bring myself to think that way. Unfortunately, I do see around me a lot of us do, you know, make our choices based on what we think is going to be successful.